First and foremost, thank you for having us. It's an honor. This is something that, in the course of the now third startup that we've done, it's great to have an opportunity to be up here and see this audience and speak to this audience. So I think first and foremost, I just want to prepare you for how we're intending on approaching this. When we look at what we want to communicate in terms of value, I think the things that you're looking at are, do we have a clear value proposition? Do we have the right team to do it? Is there product market fit, right? Do our products actually resonate in the market? And what impact can we have? And then finally, do we have a clear go-to-market strategy? So my job today here is to demonstrate that to you. I'm the founder of Expoxy.ai, one of two founders, and this is our third startup together. Just a little bit, Expoxy.ai is really about glue because we're all about bringing big data sets together. And we specialize really in bringing personalization to the sports betting space and sports media space. So just talking about personalization, what do I mean by personalization? So just a show of hands here, how many people use Spotify in the room? Right, how many people use Netflix, YouTube TV, right? Okay, right. And so personalization has been critical in the technology industry since search started, right? It's just an evolution of the technology business. Just push the green button, I'm assuming? And when we ask ourselves what it is that makes these experiences so great, right? Well, it's really a variety of different things, but it's mostly that it understands my behaviors, right? It recommends to me things that I like, right? And it connects me to related content, right? Stuff that I'm interested in. If you look at Amazon, 37% of its revenue comes through its recommendation engine, right? So this is critical and fundamental to technology growth in the space. In fact, it's really a business imperative. I love this quote. So this is out of a recent McKinsey report. Personalization is a force multiplier. I really don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. But it's a basic necessity, right? I mean, if you look across the consumer landscape, 70% of people just expect it, right? It is a table stake right now, right? And if you look at the evolution, I'm sorry for the formatting here, but if you look at the evolution, right, what we see is sports is just the next technology play that will adopt personalization. In fact, it has to, right? Now, when we talk about data exchange, 87% of people are willing to give up their data for a better experience. So as long as the data is held privately, people are willing to give their data because they want simplified experiences, right? So we look at this, as I said, as a natural progression. But the question is, what's the problem? And the problem is that if you look across the sports technology ecosystem, in particular, right, fan engagement, media, and in particular gaming, the tools to support personalization are just not there, right? And the lack of infrastructure to support personalization really doesn't exist. And I think that this is really, really, really prevalent right now in the sports betting industry. A show of hands here, I don't know where you're all from, so given that sports betting isn't legal in all states, how many people have used a sports betting app? Okay. And I'm assuming you've probably tried several different ones, and I think that it's pretty easy to say that those applications really suffer from a lack of differentiation, right? They're all largely built on the same underlying technology that was imported from Europe when PASPA, the regulation, was repealed in 2018. And with very, very busy roadmaps, these companies are having a really hard time differentiating, right? And that's a significant challenge. And when we look at the impact, look at some of these statistics. This is fascinating. 75% of the gaming audience, this is the active bettors, complain about their experiences with betting applications. 75% of them, 3/4. Can't find the bets they want, it's too hard to do it. And so you really just have a terrible user experience, number one. Number two, more critically, right? Going to that huge addressable market in the United States and the rest of the world, you've got 38% of non-bettors don't use the applications because they're too confusing. These are people who could and would be bettors, but they're so confusing they won't use them. So one of the big questions is, why? Why is this? Why have companies been so slow to adopt personalization, right? Gaming's been around for 5 years now, right? And the fact is that it's really, really hard, right? If you listen to any of the speeches yesterday, and there's some today, but you had Amy Howe from FanDuel, you had Michael Rubin from Fanatics, you had Tom Regg, the CEO of Caesars. And part of every one of their conversations was about the lack of personalization and differentiation. In fact, Tom Regg literally said he has to buy into it. We can't build it ourselves. And that's fundamentally the problem in the industry, is the tools don't exist. It's not a lack of desire, and it's not a lack of technology talent in these businesses either. They have the talent. The problem is that talent in large organizations is either overbooked doing something else, right, getting into new states, or they're siloed in different organizations, right? The understanding group, the analytics group is in one area, the recommendations group's in another area, and the UI group is in another area, and they can't figure out how to work together. And that's where we come in. So as a business, our mission is to create the tools that enable personalization, right? We do that, what the core foundational components are. We give them tools to understand their audience, to make recommendations to their audience, right? And then connect them to the data and the pieces of content they want. So a little bit about us. This isn't our first rodeo. Chris, my business partner, is over here. This is the third time we've worked together collaboratively as a team. We started in personalization in 2011. We launched a company called One2C, which within 4 years owned 75% market share, delivering a personalized game center application into every media company, TV platform, as well as set-top box. We were bought in 2016 by Comcast. I went on to run the sports business for Comcast and Sky, fundamentally focusing on personalization, creating experiences that allowed you to find the right content, understand your user, make recommendations, connect them to the right tools. Critical to do that is the team. So we're lucky enough to have, probably, arguably, and humbly, one of the best sports technology teams in the world. We've been doing this together through 3 businesses. 9 of our current 12 employees come from One2C and Comcast and have followed us now to this new business. And that really helps us accelerate our roadmap quite a bit, and obviously helps us hire and really understand how to work as a team and move forward. So on the product side, I think we've already talked about this. It's kind of hard to show what behind the scenes actually makes a Spotify work. It's hard to show what makes an Amazon work. But it's the 3 fundamental components, and we offer them as licensed technologies. Independently in a SaaS model, you can buy each individual component or combine them together. But I think what's really, really important is, does this work? Do we have product market fit? And let me talk about our most recent introduction into the market. So we spent roughly 18 months building the platform. AI platforms are hard to build, and they require a lot of subject matter expertise, a lot of AI validation, a lot of modeling. Everybody at this conference understands that. That's why we're all here. What really matters is the results. So in September, we launched our first trial with a company called Greenwood Gaming, which is in 5 states. They're branded Bet Parks in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and then they have another brand, which for Playgun Lake in the other states that they operate in. And what you see here in the lower right-hand corner is a representation. If you're in any of those states, download the app and check it out. But I think what's important is the metrics, right? How did personalization of the interface and the recommendations impact the end users? Well, it was a tremendous success. And frankly, for us, it wasn't an optimal implementation because we weren't even natively integrated in the app. We had to be a button in the lower right-hand corner. But look at the metrics. In the quantitative side, 80% found the experience valuable. 75 of them went to the portal. 75% of the users went to the portal without promotion. But here's the highlight, right? Bet volume went up, okay, from 1.25 bets per slip to 2.0 bets per slip. And this was just a huge success for them. In the fourth quarter of this year, Iris Krychek, who's sort of the who's who in the gaming space that does the app rankings, saw their application move 8 steps higher. And that is our reason for being, to bring this type of technology and expand it into the space. And why do we like it? Because it's a huge TAM, huge, right? We're not just talking about the US market, right? If we look collectively at the international, the global market around sports betting and also sports media, you're talking at $200 billion to potentially $250 billion industry in the next 5 years, right? And the funny thing about it is that it's the European and the rest of the world market that's now being driven by innovation in the United States to create personalization in their experiences. Because in the rest of the world, all those applications still look the same, right? So we think it is a tremendous opportunity, and we know the market's there. And we also know that because of the response we're having from customers. So we launched in September. By the end of this year, we'll do 10x in revenue. We'll have 10x in terms of customers. So we intend to have 10 to 15 customers by the end of the year. We've already sought distribution relationships with Amazon, Playtech, Kambi, OpenBet. These are the biggest platform manufacturers, global platform manufacturers in the space for the gaming space, and they're distributing our technology. Lowly little company at 12. So key takeaways. We got a track record of success. We've been doing this a long time, right? Same team, same group, 3 different companies. Successes, hopefully 3 out of 3, if everything goes well. We've got a scalable platform, right? We put the time in to build something that has an infrastructure that can be deployed almost instantaneously across the landscape, right? Hence our partnerships with these third parties. And we're growing, and we're going to continue to grow. We'll be cash flow positive by the middle of next year. And all we see is really a tremendously bright opportunity around this. So going back, if I can, to sort of the key things, do we have a clear value prop? Yes, we do. Do we have the team? Yes, we do. Is there a product market fit? Indisputably, 100%, proven, right? And will we have an impact in the industry? Yes. And we want this industry to grow around personalization. I like something other companies are doing in this space around it, right? So, rising tide raises all ships, right? We're not going to be able to serve every single customer. So great, let's see more innovation, okay? Let's see that this space continue to grow. Lastly, I'm going the wrong way, I apologize. So we're always looking for money, right? We're in a raise, so if you're an investor, we'd love to talk to you. We're not hard to find. Partners, people in the room, obviously the people that we've met. If you're doing complementary things, let's talk. Absolutely, let's talk. And peers, right? Let's see where we can go by looking at where the Venn diagram overlaps, creating better products for this industry. Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, we are at